This is our reading number 2. This reading is with the Granite Rock. And the reading is focused on the next few months of 2023 going into 24. Like, what type of things can we expect in terms of connections, the energies that we'll be experiencing, and advice, if there's any to be given, insight into what that's going to look like. And so let's get started. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate you. Like, share, comment. If you are liking the content, share it as well. If you feel led, I'm more than happily accept donations as well. Any form of love is love to me. And so thank you so much for stopping by. Let's get started. Hey there, we're back. So this is reading number 2 with our Granite Rock. I actually found this rock when I went on a vacation to Monterey, and it called out to me, so I brought it home. This will be my first reading with this rock. Let's see. It could be something that was man-made, looks like, but who knows? I just like the different hues of pink. I was drawn to that. But that's the rock that's representing this read. We're taking a look into the rest of 2023, like what type of things we'll look at coming forth with experiences, and possibly different energies that will be encountered. Maybe some advice possibly that can be given, some type of insight on what that'll look like and what can be expected. And so thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you allowing me to speak into your life. And I hope this resonates. It may not resonate today, but as you move forward, you may find some things ring true from the reading. And so, yeah, just enjoy it for what it is today. So let's get started. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe if you like the content and you're yet to subscribe. Don't forget to like, share, comment. And if you feel led, you can go ahead and leave a donation. All of that information is down in the description box. And so let's get started. All right, so for the rest of the year going into 2024, I can't believe we're already here. Like, we're in 2024 already. Orbs of light. And so, going into 2024, for the rest of the year, you could possibly find yourself having encounters with different energies, like depending on what it is that you believe about life and life after death, whether or not you believe that. Some would say that, we don't, in fact, of course, the body ceases to stay in this form. It goes back to dust, where it came from. But the spirit, the soul, lives on in the form of energy. Sometimes that energy is translated over into the physical as orbs of light, these little sparkly glimpses that are sometimes caught with the eye. A lot of times you'll see them I've seen them like in photographs or videos. It's like a transition of energy from spirit into the physical realm is what it is. And it could definitely be energy in the form of souls that have gone on, that's coming forth on this side, possibly to give a message, to give inspiration, to give whatever is needed in that moment, right? If you see one, many would say, oh, there's an angel or orbs of light. However you see that, you could be experiencing glimpses in the corner of your eye. And then when you look, it disappears, or you could actually see it, physically see it, right? And so this is something that you may find yourself experiencing. Know that there's no reason to be afraid of it. It comes to bring something that you may be needing in that time. If it's healing, if it's encouragement, if it's some type of message, if it's a confirmation, if it's just consolation, bringing the energy of peace into your life, you may find yourself experiencing that these next couple of months. And then we have the Oracle card, what do I feel? What do I feel? And it's posed as a question. So I get the sense that this is asking you to kind of evaluate some part of your experience here in this lifetime. And it's talking about the fact that we live in a world of opinions. Like, there's opinions all around us. There is sometimes coming in helpful, and sometimes coming in distracting, but it's calling you to understand that opinions are just a part of the life that we live in amongst each other, amongst other people. But it's calling you to listen to yourself. What do you feel? What is your truth in amidst everything that's happening, especially with social media? Just clicking on TikTok, you could hit like a whole slew of thoughts and opinions, almost to the point where if you're on there for an extended amount of time, you become a little confused or overwhelmed, or just feeling like you've been bombarded, with this whole nother mind, but it's asking you to pull away from all of that and ask yourself, what is your truth? What is your truth? Because when it all comes down to it, that's what really matters. That's what you have at the end of all of that. Sorting through others' opinions is your own decisions, your power, right? And so this may be a time at the end of this year where you are being challenged in that way to really look within yourself and ask yourself, instead of going to get someone's opinion or going over here to see what they think, or sharing our problems or our experiences in hopes that we'll get some type of answer or some type of resolution that'll make us feel better for the moment, or that'll give us some type of solution to our problem. But it's asking you to actually take responsibility for this part of your life. In the next few months, you may be placed in that position, to make the decision, going off of your own intuition, off of your own ability to critically think and crank out and make sense of things and make the best decision that you're able to pull from what it is that you're seeing and hearing and experiencing. Over this next couple of months, you're being asked to really take the time to think things through, right? Not just to make a choice, but to actually really sit down and critically think about it, think it through. Maybe even suggest some outcomes to each decision if you were to make it, and to really find out, okay, which one will actually end up better in the long run, right? It's asking you to really get acquainted with your own thought process and solving your own problems or coming up with your own answers, right? And there's no need to, traumatize yourself or ridicule yourself or, strain yourself in fear of making the wrong decision, because there is no wrong decisions. There's just choices, and there's consequences of the choices that we make. Even if you took a choice that was opposite of the choice that would have led you to where it is that you want to go, eventually I feel like life would eventually bring you back around to the correct place anyway. But you get the ability, or you get the extra added benefit of having these experiences over here before you come back around to where it is that you want to be. So there is no such thing as the wrong choice. There's only experiences, right? Let's see. Yeah. So you could find yourself coming through the end of this year at a crossroads of some kind, where you're actually going to have to really get real with yourself and make this decision yourself. You're being guided to really take ownership of your life in that way, and really take a different approach. If you're used to going to others to be guided, you're being asked to actually allow yourself to be guided from your internal compass. From your internal compass, like without all of the external extras and the external dramas that sometimes accompany us dealing with what we sometimes consider an emergency situation, or a dilemma. It's asking you to really internalize the decisions that you may end up having to make coming through the end of this year. And the beautiful part about that is there is a sense of peace that's born out of that. And it's almost magical as you allow things to be what they are. You make the decision, you decide, you think about it critically, and you make a logical, thought out decision about what it is that you want to do, and you sit with that, and you allow yourself to be okay with that, and to choose peace behind what you have chosen. Okay? And so you may find yourself kind of in that situation coming to the end of the year. And then we have willing release. This brings the energy of, just that. Not feeling like you have to control things. And it is that energy of making your decision and just leaving it be, letting it go, saying this is what I feel is right, and that's what we're going with, and sit with that. Willing release. And also not only just your decisions, but other things that may be presented in your crossroads moment going through the end of this year, being willing to release those things that no longer play a part in your life, or no longer are valuable, or adding any type of significance or value to your life. It's almost like going through your closet and seeing all these clothes that you may not even ever wear again, whether that's because your style has changed, or whether that's because you're no longer the size that you used to be. Maybe you've lost weight, or maybe you've gained, weight. For whatever reason, it's very unlikely that you would wear those clothes again. And they're just sitting in there taking up space. And it's because you have not willingly released those. In the back of your mind, there's some fear of needing it at some point, right? But willingly being able to release things, that's just an example. But we do that as well with non-material things. Sometimes we do it with friends. Sometimes we do it with a job, for fear of the unexpected, or not feeling like we can get something better, whatever the reasons that we're telling ourselves. I feel like sometimes the divine or spirit or God is trying to bring us into a greater realm of blessing or abundance. But because we are hoarders in the spirit, we're hoarders, with spiritual things, with physical things, there's no room to bring anything else in. There's no room to bring in any growth because we're so stuck in the way that we do things. And so this end of the year for 2023 may bring in a bit of this energy that may come in to challenge you in that way. May come in to ask you to release some things willingly, without a fight, without a fuss, without the added drama about releasing it, right? Because there's always something better. There's always something better. And who knows, maybe there's someone else that's waiting to receive that and they haven't received it yet because you're still holding on to it and you don't even use it, or you have no more use for it, or it has no value for you anymore, but you're still hoarding it and holding on to it. And so, look out for that energy. And then we have life force energy with Kanye. The end of the year could bring in opportunities for you to work with balancing the energies. And I know for a lot of people there is the sacral chakra, the root chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra, along with other chakras, and it's aligning those energies, those energy centers, and making sure that they're unblocked so energy can flow, just like this waterfall, so it can flow to the places where it needs to be. So those places will be full and available when needed. And so maybe that's something that if you don't do already, you could definitely be knowledgeable of chakras. But if not, maybe that's something that will be brought into your awareness at the end of the year. Ways that you can balance your energy and keep it strong. Life force energy is the energy that keeps us healthy, that keeps us tapped in and able to confidently and do everything that we're supposed to be doing in this lifetime and some more, right? And so that might possibly be something that comes around in some way, shape, or form, is the concept of life force energy and how that affects the way that we live and how we tap into ourselves and our abilities and what it is that we're supposed to be offering the world. Okay. Celestial alignment. Interesting, because this actually aligns with this card. We're still talking about the same thing. You see the colors? Same thing. This could definitely be in line with grounding in the earth. Celestial alignment could be aligning in the astral realm. And so, but it's really talking about the same thing, dealing with the same concept of aligning energy, or aligning ourselves with energy flow or concepts and energies. Energies that are definitely in operation. Celestial alignment. I want to get some more information on this one. So it talks about our natural path, like what we've been called to in this lifetime, and how it directs us back to our own divinity, how we relate to our own godliness that is ours, and no one can actually take that away from us. And it's asking that question. Look at this. How do you feel? That's the question it's asking. Going back to what we just saw. What do you feel? It's asking you to check in with yourself. Yeah. How do you feel? Because many times we're speaking to ourselves in feelings, but we ignore that and we place priority on the, all of the um, opinions outside of ourselves. And we never really stop to really prioritize ourselves and what we think and how we're feeling. And so again, alignment is in this way is talking about aligning with your higher self and prioritizing yourself in that process. It's an energetic feeling that we align and sync ourselves with energetically. And it points to the fact that everything that we're looking for, those answers, and everything else is in that frequency of aligning energetically, right, to our highest self. And all we have to do is match it. And this is the importance of being in alignment, right? Those energy centers. Because everything that we need is there. We're being guided. We just have to know that we are and listen to what is being said. And then we have your path. Again, talking about your path. So for someone here, you could be awakening to just the greater sense of who you are and what you've been called to do, apart from everything else that you've been taught up to this point. We go through so many different systems of training our minds on how to think and what to think. It trains us to trust everything except ourselves, right? It still amazes me how we can be educated in a system that offers so much misguided information, intentional misguided information. It just amazes me. And towards the end of my children's educational experience, I really lost faith in the educational system. And it became a point where I wanted to really educate my children myself, because I wanted to be a part of what it is that they were absorbing at that point, which is a whole nother subject because it's a difficult job, especially if you work. But going back to how we are trained to believe everything outside of ourselves, school, even religion, even the medical industry, all of these pillars of society that keep us distracted from tapping into ourselves, because we're supposed to blindly believe what they're saying and just trust. Well, it's hard to trust when you know for a fact that something or someone does not have your best interest at heart. That's a part of the awakening that's happening right now, is tapping into yourself, your divine self, the wisdom and the divinity that was given to everybody, right? That was given to everybody. Nobody's special. Nobody's more special than anybody else. It's who's willing to listen, or who's listening, right? Who's listening to the wisdom that's being guided from the very core of ourselves, right? Or is it being clouded out by everything around us? And so this experience that you could be coming into the end of this year, going into next year, is about your path. And it says, "Dear Lord, help me trust that there's a plan far beyond what I can see through my fears and my illusions." And sometimes that is walking away from structures and institutions that are set up. Sometimes, listen, you have to know what you know, and you have to trust yourself that you're being guided in truth. And that's part of this process, in aligning with your higher self and making sure that your energy is clear and you don't have blocked energy centers where the energy is not able to flow clearly. And so maybe that's something that you'll be learning about moving into 2024. It's definitely mind-boggling. It's mind-blowing, right? When you become awakened to the illusions that we see every single day. And it reminds me of that movie. What is the name of that movie? It's called, what is that movie called? The movie is about aliens, first off, and the aliens have planted a device that programs humans subconsciously. And so just looking at things normally, it would look like looking at a stop sign. What you would see was a red octagon with a stop, right? But underneath that is a subconscious message, and They Live. That's the name of it. It's called They Live. And you have to be wearing these decoder glasses to see the underlying message at that stop sign, right? And so if you put on the glasses, you'll see something like, you must obey all government laws. It's something underlying underneath that, right? Because if you don't stop, right, you get pulled over and yada, yada, yada. But it shows how there's this subconscious programming that's happening underneath what just looks like everyday stuff, and it's illusions is what it is. It's illusions. I'll give you a simple real life example. And so we were raised to believe that milk does a body good. If you want strong bones, you better drink you some milk. If you want strong teeth and long hair, milk is the way to go. And it was just recently that I found out that milk is actually acidic, number one. Anything acidic in excess would obviously eat the body up, right? Because it's acidic. And so we have a lot of people that have digestive issues and indigestion and a high acidic rate in their body, not understanding it's from the dairy products that we're eating. But the National Administration drug, they will tell us that milk is good for you. Well, you don't see those commercials anymore because now we've become awoke to it. And so it's not so easy to bypass or to slip that message in on us. But for years, they served it in school. They probably still serve it in school. They serve milkshakes like it's a staple, literally, in America. And now that they have all of these documentaries about what really happens in factories and these meat farms and, all this stuff that's going on, and it shows like literally milk is actually pus and blood mixed together from a calf's body. And it's really just like we make milk. Humans make milk as well. Women make milk for their children, and all it is like colostrum. It's like blood. It's the immune system. It's like fluids needed for the baby to build their body up. It's not necessarily milk, that's what we call it, but it's a collection of fluids needed for another being like me that I birthed, right? And so the same thing that I have in my body that I was feeding them when they were inside of my body is what they are now sucking out of my breast, right? And in the same way, cows do the same thing. And so it has come to our attention that it does not work quite the same when you're feeding your child, right? There's something that aligns there in the DNA down to the molecular structure. There's a match there. But you take cow's blood and then you try to give it to, say, a human, two different species, there's a mismatch. And there's things that could possibly happen because it's actually changing, or the body will reject it. If it's not able to change it and cause a match, it'll reject it. And that's what happens when you begin to have the acid reflux, or just a high buildup of acid in your body. And that's where you start to begin to get all these different weird diseases that we don't really understand where they're coming from. And so all this time we've been taught, and it's still on the food pyramid. When you go to like study food and cooking, there's a pyramid that they have of all of the portions of foods that you're supposed to have every day. And milk is on there as one of the staples that you're supposed to have every day. Well, how is that when our bodies reject this stuff that we put in our bodies? And according to these documentaries, it was found that milk is actually fluid from the cow's body, right? That's profitable for the calf because it's made of the same stuff, but we're not. And so it was determined that milk is really just pus and blood, right? The immune system, or whatever it is that it's kicking down to the calf, right? Milk and pus. And then to make it white, what they do is they dye it and they pasteurize it and they cognize, what is that word, to make it thick, right? They do something, I forget the name of it, I think it's cognize or something like that, the milk, to make the cells cluster together. That's why the milk is thick after they dye it, because really if it was really undyed, it would be like a pinkish clearish color, because all it is pus and blood, in case you didn't know. I'm sorry if you didn't know, and I'm sorry to bust your bubble and spoil all of your dreams and hopes around milk and ice cream and, you know, all those things that we love. And I say love because that was one of the last things that I wanted to give up, was cheese. I still have a love for cheese, but the understanding behind the illusion of what it is, what we're told it is, it's supposed to be something that's good for our bones, that's supposed to build up, you know, and keep us healthy and strong, when actually in reality, it's tearing down our system. It's acidic. It is anti-productive to the human body. And so it's stuff like that, right? I went way on a tangent, but this card on our path is the call to desire, to ask our Creator, whatever it is that you connect to as your higher source. It says, help me trust that there's a plan far beyond what I can see through my fears and illusions, right? This is the illusion part. I haven't even tapped into the fear part of how we, you know, and I'm not going to go there because I think I might cause somebody to just totally have a, you know, a conniption fit if I started tapping into all of the fear tactics that are put in place to keep us from really tapping into ourselves and exploring the greater access that we have in life, in this lifetime. But for someone, you're set on a path to do that. And all you have to do is ask to have your blinders removed, or to put on the right glasses so that you can see through the illusions and through the fears, to keep us from actually tapping in to ourselves, right? And so that's something that you may have an opportunity to really experience and confront and pursue, right? And then we have environment here. Your environment is definitely going to be important. 44 is a master number. That could be a number that you find yourself seeing throughout the end of the year. 44. Or 40 as well. 41. These are all numbers that are popping up here. 49. And so your environment is actually, I feel like, will probably make a change. There's going to be a change in your environment. And that could absolutely be a spiritual, it could be the way that you are starting to see everything. It also could be a physical change as well. Because you'll find that as you begin to accept these truths and really open up to the reality around you and these experiences, that what you desire will change, and what you surround yourself with is going to change as well. And so there's going to be some type of change in your environment coming up here. Whether that's you seeing that in a different way, or whether that's you rearranging your environment to fit the change that's happening on the inside of you. And then I have invite peace here. Invite peace. So in all of this, right, even as I just got through talking about illusions and the fact that we are looked at kind of like sheep or calf, the lamb before the slaughter, we are still invited to welcome peace, right? Welcome peace still, even though it is what it is, because once then there is a level of power that you take back, right? And it no longer is what it was before you knew, and so in all of this, you're invited to really invite in a level of peace and allow yourself to be at ease with all of this as this is taking place, okay? Because it really is going to be okay. For your astral house, though, I feel like the issue of marriage in some way is going to definitely be on the altar or at the forefront in this process at the end of the year. And it may, in fact, lead into this energy of childlike love as you're going through this. You may find yourself tapping into your younger self or your inner child. And so this may be the energy that will be cultivated if you're somebody that's married, or if you're somebody that's about to really get married, right? I do sense like the energy of childlike love. It's like a really playful, innocent, youthful type of love. Very honest and open. And with that, there could be a level of things that you wish to see improved with that. And it's asking you to really be honest, be open, be patient as this process takes its, toll, or, is encountered through marriage. And so you're being asked to really be patient in your relationship if you are married. And take small steps for the improvement that you want to see. Be dedicated, be willing to put in the hard work and the time that it takes to have the kind of relationship or marriage that you have or that you want. For those that are married or getting married, or even in a committed relationship, right? Overall, I do see that you have favor in that way, and like the things that you would be asking for will be done. It's going to be granted. A sincere wish that you have will be granted between now and next year. If that's getting married, then hey, that might just be the wish that you are having granted for yourself. But remember to have patience. and be willing to put in the work to cultivate the type of relationship that you want to have. This relationship may in fact start off very childlike, or it may start off as something very open and something that lacks depth. So it may start off as something very light, but I feel like Spirit is saying it has the potential to turn into what it is that you're looking or you're wishing for or asking for. Yeah. And for someone who I'm talking to, I feel like this is someone who's been through some challenges, whether this is your current marriage. The marriage has been through some challenges, but like I said, anything worth having is worth working for and cultivating. Again, coming to that crossroads where you have to sit down and crank out these answers and solutions for yourself. This has to be an answer that you sit down and get serious with yourself about and critically crank these answers out for yourself. And so this could be one of those things over the next few months going into 2024 that you'll be dealing with, is your marriage, okay? But there is something that's working in your favor. There's a desire that you've expressed that will be granted for you, okay? With our tarot cards, let's jump in. We have the 10 of Cups. We have the Chariot. And we have the 4 of Pentacles. The 10 of Cups, the Chariot, and the 4 of Pentacles. And so with the 10 of Cups, the Chariot, and the 4 of Pentacles, there could be some area of your life that is definitely moving, or you could be moving away for some reason in some area of your life and kind of holding back. I don't know what capacity this is, but I know it has something to do with family. So let's see, what is this 10 of Cups when it comes to this spread here, this 3-card spread? Why is the 10 of Cups here? Why is the 10 of Cups here? And for the Chariot, why is the Chariot here in this 3-card spread for my viewer? Why is the Chariot here? Ooh. Why is the Chariot here? Definitely moving away from something. So what is this? And why is the 4 of Pentacles here? What is the 4 of Pentacles here? Yeah, so there's something that's on rocky ground as it pertains to family. I don't know if this is your marriage that's on the rocks. It definitely could be pertaining to home life. I feel like you are disengaged in some type of way because of some something that's not sitting right or going right. There could be a level of deception at play. With the Devil here and the 4 of Swords, it's like you're not tapped in. You're not tapped in. And who is this? What is this Ten of Swords? Who is this Ten of Swords? Is this married life? The Emperor? You're not tapped in. So this could be considering some type of separation in your marriage. You're moving away. And taking control of your own life, or you're moving away from this level of control that has been exerted over you in some type of way, shape, or form. Yeah, Chariot, moving away. Five of Cups, leaving something behind, moving towards something that's more reciprocal and inviting. And the Four of Cups, being very reserved, but there is a new start or a new truth or new awakening coming after this disheartening event. And so there is a transition, there is a crossroads, I feel like, that you're coming towards at the end of the year. It may in fact have something to do with family. It may have something to do with your marriage. That's the house that came up. There may be some things to deal with. Yeah. So let's see. And our last oracle cards, we have the Devil again. Queen of Swords, okay. Ten of Pentacles. And Death. Is that Death? That's 14, that's 5, no. So what is that? There's no names on here, so, and they're new. I'm still learning these cards. 14 is Temperance. Okay, Temperance. I should have known. She's standing by the water. And so this is the energy. We got the Devil again, right? So there's definitely falsehood here. There's illusion of happiness here. Yeah. So let's see. What is this illusion happening for my viewer? I'm going to get some clarification here. What is the illusion happening here? We got the Devil twice. What is the illusion happening here in terms of this Ten of Cups? The Emperor came out again. And the Tower. So somebody is not who they say they are. They have a mask on that probably has been or will be revealed sometime in the near future, going into next year, and it may blow the cap on somebody's performance or somebody's act, right? It may peel the masks off. Why is the Queen of Swords here? But I feel like you are in the energy, or you're entering in this energy. This came out in my last reading too, where you are not playing, or you're being asked to step into this energy, this Queen of Swords energy, and be willing to cut things off that are no longer serving you. The Strength. And if that means you have to walk a certain length of this journey alone, it's better to do that than to be held captive to falsity or illusion, you know. And so, but I really do feel like you're in this energy already. With the Ten of Pentacles, it's being clarified by the Devil. And the Hierophant. And then the Temperance. Why is Temperance here? Six of Pentacles. It's almost like everybody, I feel like everyone may have come to you, you know, and the Five of Pentacles. You have been like the scapegoat. You've been like the solution. You've been like the saving ship for many. But there's a time to change that, and now's the time. Now's the time to put your foot down and step into your power. And when folks play with you, off with the head. Listen, it's time. It's time. Yeah. It's time to change the way you think about who you are. And I think that's what this process is going to do for you. It's going to usher you directly into who you were always supposed to be. Because we don't trust ourselves, we end up in spaces and places that we were never supposed to be in. And in many ways, they are disalarming. And they are disempowering, and it's on purpose to keep us there. But there comes a time where you have to step out swinging, fight for your freedom, right? And so if that's exactly what this is, then that's what it is. That's what it is. Listen, we're not going to sugarcoat nothing. And so when it comes to that point, to that crossroads, which it may come there, because it's coming out for a reason, right? You have to stand in your power, and there's no running to people to try to find out what you should do. No, you sit down and you get out your paper and you write out the benefits. You write out the detriments. You write out all the bad things. You write out all the good things. You write out all the reasons why you would ever want to stay. You write out all the reasons why you need to go. And you weigh that mess out yourself, if that's what this is, as it pertains to relationships. Again, it could be family. It could definitely be a spouse. Your astral house was centered around marriage. And so that's the energy that we're talking about here. Okay? But there's some beautiful things coming in for you. A wise person would definitely hop on board, because when it's all said and done, you're going to end up in a very beautiful place. But not everybody is wise. And it don't matter who don't want to be wise. You still need to move forward so that you can step into the place where you came here to be. Where you were created to be. And that's an empowered place. That's an empowered place. Where you are able to govern and lead your own life. There's no more beautiful place than that. And it's not always being in a position of being there when everybody else needs help. Some people only come around when they need something, or when they're in their lowest, or when they're in dire straits. When they're up and up and the money's flowing and, you know, love is good, you don't even hear from people. But let stuff start falling apart and falling out and stuff come up missing. Listen, they think about you. And this may not be you, I'm just talking. But we're no longer accepting that position, the lowest position in people's lives when they need something. right? I want to be the one that's thought of when things are going good and you have an overflow and you're looking for somebody to bless. I want to be the one to come up when that type of energy hits you, not the last person on your list that gets to troubleshoot and, brainstorm getting you out of the mess. You don't have to be that person. Now, if you want to be, that's something different, but you don't have to be. You were created for so much more, so much more. Yeah. And so let's see if we have some angel answers for you as we end this. All right, any advice? Helpful people? Anything my viewer needs to know here moving forward into 2024? Let go, right? That willing release. Let go. That's true with love too. Sometimes you have to let it go. If it comes back, it was meant, but you have to let go and move forward. Especially when yourself is on the line. You gotta do what you gotta do and let folks catch up with you if they want to. And if they don't, listen, you're gonna be all right. But the energy of let go is coming out here. Be assertive. That Queen of Swords. That type of energy. And don't be afraid to reach out. That orbs. I feel like you will have lots of guidance at your disposal moving into this season of your life. And so all you have to do is open up and ask. And it was already said that whatever your desire is, it will be met. And so you have favor. You have favor. Know that and move in that. And so don't deny yourself all of the access that's being provided to you in this time and moving forward. Part of that is really trusting yourself and knowing that there's more, that you are meant for more. Yeah. So that's what I have for you. Thank you for stopping by. This one was kind of deep, but thank you for listening. I hope I said something that's encouraging, that helps you and empowers you to stand in your strength. Because, baby, you are strong. You're strong. There's no need to give away your power or to live beneath it. You better assert yourself and use the gifts that you've been given. Part of those gifts is this. Use your own mind. My mom used to always tell me, use your head, and unless somebody else come along and use it for you, right? You better use your own mind. That's why it was given to you. Okay? But this was so beautiful. Whoever this was for, it's a beautiful reading. And I hope moving into the next year is as wonderful as it seemed, like aligning your energy and orbs and being able to tap into yourself and understand what you're saying and what you need, and being your own guide, your own advisor, right? All of that. I love it. Been there, done that. Wouldn't want to do it any other way. Listen. And so thank you so much for stopping by. If you like the content, please share it, subscribe if you haven't, like, comment. If you have anything you want to add, just put the comments down below. I'll respond. And other than that, if you feel led to donate to support the channel, that would be beautiful. Help me build the channel. Other than that, I will see you at the next one. And if this is not your first time watching, thank you for coming back and allowing me to continue to speak and trusting me in that way. Thank you. If it is your first time, welcome, and I hope to see you again. With that being said, you have a wonderful evening and get ready for 2024, because we busting in that with a bang, okay? All right, so have a good evening. Bye.